Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. This is Steph. This is an intro.
We don't know how to do intros.
Nope. And here's my co-host.
I'm Scott. I say dumb stuff.
And I hope you enjoy this wonderful show. We're not live. It just means live recording.
And this is on Twitch. Time for the TOSs.
Completely.
Can we
Live
all
on YouTube
panic?
right
No one
now.
can do this?
Yeah. Usually when I do these things, I'm with like Tom has his stuff going, so I don't have to worry about all this tech stuff. Like he's really good about it, but I'm gonna do this myself. We'll see if we can figure this out.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Clearly, I couldn't even get my microphone to turn on. So
It's a test run, Scott. It'll be perfect. And Gigi's allowing us to use her as our guinea pig today.
Good. Gonna have to play around a lot more with this thing. So
Because it looks good. Have you guys watched the Star Wars Time podcast where they do it live, like with a microphone in front of them and stuff like that. So it can be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I watch Castle Super Beasts, Wooly and Pat of Super Best Friends. So they do their stuff live on Twitch, their podcasts, and they're using a mic and stuff like that. Yeah. Usually talking through the webcam to one another.
Yeah. So it'll be done. We'll get it.
Good.
So how are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Really good.
Good.
Really good.
What time is it over there, Gigi?
9:24.
Okay. So you're in the same
time zone as me.
Yay! Yeah, and I'm from Toronto, so
yeah.
Toronto, New York, all those fun little areas. We're all the same time zone.
Yes, we
very
are.
cool. I never know because like some people, I think I flew to Colorado one time, and when we got there, it was different time, obviously, and it was my first time experiencing like as an adult, like a different time zone. And I remember it being like, this is weird. But now being on Instagram, you talk to people all the time. They're like, what time is it there? What are you doing? So
yeah,
it's only 6:25 here. So yeah. I just got off work an hour ago.
I always I've said, I feel always weird sending you messages sometimes because I'll send you messages on my way to work. And Gigi, just a little context. I usually leave for work at about 4:00 in the morning. Amazing. So like I'm just texting her like in the middle of the night for her. I'll just be sending her like a message like, oh, look what I found. What does this Nendo do? It's probably just like, go away.
To give some more context to that too, Gigi, he texted me today like he's like the Captain America Deluxe. You know, he's like, can I make 2 Nendos out of this?
I was so confused. I was like, wait, so it comes with 2 heads and 2 bodies? I was like, does that mean I'll have 2? Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Cool. I clearly don't know much about Nendos yet. I'm trying.
And then there's me.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's amazing.
There's more in front of me.
I'm glad someone else has, like, I know a lot of people collect them, but your collection is like pretty much the closest. Mine doesn't compare to that, but it's like pretty close to like how many I have, and I'm like, I don't feel so bad about myself.
No,
yeah, I think the only person who's like dwarfing me when it comes to the collection, it's like Vince195 on Instagram. It's Vince with a whole bunch of numbers at the end of it. He has every Nendroid.
What? That's not possible.
He has a room full of boxes. He can't unbox any of them. And he's pretty much stated, I have almost every Nendroid up to date.
Oh man, that's
I'm like, I'm kind of happy with my 275.
Yeah. Oh my god. I tried that when I first started. I was like, I'm gonna get them in numerical order. No.
No, I just now go by like all my like favorites or like series that all match together.
Yeah. I usually, that's kind of dangerous as well because you're like trying to figure out what's going on. Can you guys hear that?
A little bit.
It's my garage opening, so
that's fine.
Sounds like Devin's home. So I asked you guys how you guys are doing. I'm kind of trying to go down the list of like stuff I randomly sent you because
I have the list open too, just in case.
Yeah, I do too on my phone. Just so we can all stay in the same.
It's perfectly great. I love how Scott's just Scott. He's gonna fly in there.
I didn't even put my last name. I didn't put my handle. I put nothing. It's so ridiculous.
When I first did this like live, I didn't know what to put there, and so every time, I think the first like 5 episodes of the MHA, it's a different name each time. And Tom's like, didn't tell me anything because he's like, I want you to try to like figure out where you're gonna settle. I was like, thanks, bud. So
I'm just gonna throw you in the pool, see if you swim or sink.
yes. And so, I mean, even now, like I get super nervous when I'm on these things because I never know what I'm gonna say usually. So it's like super fun. So, have you been on a podcast before, Gigi?
No. I used to do YouTube videos, but I've never done a podcast.
I was gonna say you do lives quite a bit, so I figured you had been on a couple things.
Yeah, I've seen your lives.
Yeah. I usually back in like 2016, I used to do YouTube.
I've never done YouTube besides being on a co-host thing, because that's why I'm like thinking that it'd be a little bit different. It'd be kind of fun because I think YouTube's like the old school way to do things now because they have all these different channels of stuff. So
but now everyone continues to grow. YouTube is just getting bigger and bigger, and it's expanding out into different directions. And it's so weird to think that it started out as such a silly video sharing website, and now it's like this new form of entertainment and media.
Now everyone's jumping ship to Twitch or I heard people are using BitChute because like some of their videos get demonetized.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I think it has to do with like your content and whatnot. YouTube decides whether or not it's worth them putting money into it. So like certain topics and stuff, hot button issues will sometimes get like booted and
if you're not ad friendly, you're not YouTube friendly.
Oh,
which they ran into with toys a lot. I know a lot of people are running into that with toys because toys are technically geared towards kids, but if you used like adult language in it or you discussed it in a more adult manner, all of a sudden they were getting demonetized like crazy because they were discussing collectibles, but they're toys and they were meant for adults, but it's weird. Yeah.
No, I know about that type of stuff. Yeah.
It's not the most, pump you up for toy photography that you can do. It's like if you're, talk about it and you're an adult, you better, talk about it like you're 5.
Yep.
Yeah. And wrap it in Play-Doh and
Play-Doh's messy.
It is messy.
Gigi, your name, your handle, Gigi Marvels. I want to know where you got it from. Where did it come from?
Okay, so there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack, but not very much. So Gigi Marvels came from Gigi Mars. Gigi Mars was my original cosplay handle. Gigi is my family nickname. My brother couldn't pronounce my name as a baby, so I was Gigi or Gigi. So everybody in my family calls me Gigi. Mars, my last name starts with M-A-R. I'm not trying to dox myself or anything, but I was born in March, M-A-R.
Yeah.
My planetary is Mars. And the Z was because I was cool and in high school and an edgy teen, and Zs are cool.
Wow.
And then when I switched to toy photography, my friend was like, well, your Nendroids are like your little Marvels. Why don't you just do Gigi Marvels? You're still sticking with the MAR format. And there's kind of like a lot to unpack, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there's some layers there though. You got really deep on that. Like I'm looking at my screen, like my handle, and kind of being like, as deep as that. There's a lot of parts to that name. Holy goodness.
It's an onion.
Yeah.
I like that though. I like that it connects to a lot of different things and a lot of different parts of your life. And it's not just about toys. It's not just about photography. It's not just about collecting. Like there's a lot of different dots to connect. So that's kind of cool. I like it.
No, it's I always thought it would, like, I didn't know how to format Gigi Mars into photography. As well as my art handle. Like my artist name is Gigi Mars. So when I actually draw and stuff, I sign it as Gigi Mars. So yeah, I just kind of wanted my own persona, but at the same time stick with what I was like, what I already had in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your little origin, like for you as a brand, and not even a brand, as a person, as an artist, like a thing. It's really cool. I was like always admire, like mine came from a City of Heroes name that I came up for myself because I wanted ice powers. So Stalagmite Thrilla is where that's from. So
I still love your name. I still love it. It's so good.
I actually always liked your name too.
It's a mouthful though. Kind of like on that thing. Have you always like collected figures and like photographed? You said you did cosplay before, so does that kind of
so I guess as a kid, I've always collected like Pokemon toys. I didn't actually full-fledged start like collecting Nendroids till about 3 years ago. So this whole love interest became a thing 3 years ago, like really, really became a thing. I think I started with like 15 Nendroids at the beginning of like 27. I now have to check how many years I did.
That's fun.
Maybe it's been 4 years. I don't know.
Go.
I think it's 2017. Around the time my boyfriend Jay and I started dating, I only had 15 Nendroids, and then all of a sudden, like a brick wall, I ended the year with like 50, and then all of a sudden I ended it at 100, and then the numbers kept going up and up and up. Actually, I think I ended the 1 year at 150. I got like 100 Nendroids in a year. And then, yeah, we slowly started accumulating more and more.
Crazy.
And now I'm gone back down to quietly picking and choosing. Not, I'm going to buy everything. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm working. So
yeah.
As long as you have money, you can buy whatever you want.
Do what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what I used to collect, I collected the alpaca plushies, and I have a whole bunch of them. So let me see if I can grab one. I collect these like round bird toys.
I saw these in your live feeds. Okay. Yeah.
I collect a bunch of these like round birds. I call them borbs. They're bird orbs. But they're by the same maker as alpaca. So I was just like, oh, I'm just going to migrate to birds. And then all of a sudden I started collecting more figures and things like that.
Yeah. Do you have other figures besides the Nendroids, or are you just like exclusive to those for?
I have a couple of prize figures. Jay has a few Portrait of Pirates. That's his thing. He's really into One Piece. I have a few Figmas I've been wanting to shoot. It's just I have such an audience for just Nendroids. Whenever I branch out, my photos just tank.
Oh.
So I'm usually just like, okay, stick to what I know. Nendroids it is.
Speaking of the photos, though, so did you do photography when you were involved in cosplay stuff? You might already know this, but like, was it a cosplay thing that you did the photography for, or did the photography come in once you started doing the toy collecting?
I think it started when I started collecting toys, like when I actually started doing the Nendroid stuff. My friend, sadly, she's no longer on Instagram. Her name was the original part of her handle was Chi-Chi. I actually forget what her full handle was. She was one of my cosplay photographers, Moondust Photography. And she was the one that told me, hey, you're really good at composition. You're really good at art. You have these toys. Maybe you should start doing toy photography. And she started showing me her figure photography. And she was the one that kind of pushed me into it. Because she was like, you have an outlet, or you have the stuff. You just need an outlet. So that's when I started doing my lay flats and stuff with my phone. I started my whole thing with like lay flats, laying them flat on the ground and taking photos of them. And then I got a DSLR, I got dioramas, and then I started building dioramas, and just everything snowballed into what I am now.
Yeah.
She created a monster.
An amazing monster. Let's put it that way. I enjoy your photography. I've actually
As do I.
yeah, as like Figma's actually makes me happy because I'm hoping that one day you'll take a photo of them because I want to see it. So that's one of the things.
I have almost all the Vocaloid Figmas.
Mhm.
One of my favorite animes is called Vividred. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I forget the name right now.
is that the one where she's riding like a scooter kind of
Yeah.
thing? Yes.
I have the 2 Figmas from that series. I'm trying to find one of them
Mhm.
of the actual main girl, and I have her Nendroid. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been really wanting to shoot the Figma a
Mhm.
lot. It's just, again, I've never really had the time.
Yeah.
And again, when photos don't land, they don't land, and it just gets me so disheartened to keep trying different things. I think
It's hard.
I think the only time it actually worked was these I have the Remen Ram, like they're sitting in like a little, it's called the a la carte prize figure. And I took a picture of these guys in the bird cage, and it went gangbusters. Like that photo went like skyrocketed.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I should shoot that more often.
Yeah, it's tricky. It trying to play with that is I feel like sometimes it just feels like a losing battle.
Mhm.
Because I've had, and Steph and I have talked about this a little bit. I've had photos that I was like, yeah, I am so happy with this. This is the photo. Like, and nobody reacts to it. And then I'll post another photo that was like a B photo that like I truly didn't plan on posting, and
Mhm.
everybody goes crazy over it, and I'm just confused. And I've come to find that I think sometimes it's just take the photos that you like looking at yourself, and somebody's going to appreciate them. You know,
Yeah.
it's tricky.
Yeah. No, that's, yeah, I feel that.
And then the next section on this is the dio making, which I am new to, so I don't have too much. But your stuff is like, you went from kind of like I should do like a little reel or like a live of me showing you how to make this, and then making these sets that are just fantastic. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like figure out how that like came from. Like, where did you start with? Like,
I'm
did you
going to
just
open
think,
up her page.
oh, are you?
Gigi, I'm just looking at your while you're talking about this because I want to have like some examples on here.
Wait 1 sec.
Oh, look at her. She's bright. This is why we have the video on, even though we're just going to be recording the
So
volume.
That's totally okay.
I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna move my my original dioramas around.
Mhm.
So my original first ever diorama I built was a hallway in a sense.
Yeah.
It was a big white piece of foam board, and it then had popsicle sticks as flooring. And then the second one I built after that was this guy. Again, popsicle sticks for flooring, but I made windows. I'm so proud of myself.
Regular foam, or did you use like construction foam, or like what is that?
I use foam board. I use Elmer's foam board that I got from my dollar store. I get everything from the dollar store.
That you're putting some dio makers out there to shame right now. That makes me really happy that you just bought it at the dollar store.
Yeah, it's like, to be honest, my lighting setup is really, really dank. I use natural lighting from the window, and then I use a piece of white foam board to reflect the light onto my subject.
It works.
It works. Yeah, I think this is like 5mm foam board.
Mhm.
It's like a hard sheet. And if I need something, usually once I place like either the coffee stir sticks or something as flooring, usually it doesn't curl up. It curls if you're using like a piece of like paper glued to it.
Mhm.
But if you can glue both sides, what I learned with like building my collapsible dioramas is, let me pull out those guys. Everything's
collapsible.
Do you keep all your dioramas assembled, or do you like throw them out after a while, or do they like kind of wear and tear and you have to get rid of them? I'm just curious. Like,
so I haven't actually thrown out a single diorama yet. Yeah. So like a lot of them I kind of still repurpose. Like I still have this guy. Right now it still has like stuff in it.
Yeah.
Um, like some of them are repurposable. Some of them, like my collapsible dioramas, I make sure that I can reuse them. So like each side has its own wallpaper, and I can just mix and match with like as well. The flooring is reversible,
Very cool.
So
so
you can just put
everything
one
kind of flip, and I can just
Cool.
reuse.
That's super cool. I like that idea.
It's very
Yeah.
smart too, like because I know I have like the wooden ones that I spent way too much money on, and you can't get the floor off of them. Like you
Yeah.
cannot use them again. They have to stay the way they are.
Yeah,
It's
the
crazy.
Roll Life stuff. I've been wanting to buy some Roll Life, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about having more things that are already pre-built.
Mhm.
Like my biggest diorama is still like this guy can't be removed,
Oh man.
and he's huge in comparison. In comparison.
They're hard to store, let alone like display and stuff. So, one of the ones I built was just the outside, just the door to Winnie the Pooh's house, and that is like it's just down in the garage on some shelving because I don't know where to put it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I want to box some of these up because like this guy, the staircase that I built, all the paper I used as stained glass. I used like tissue paper, like the stuff you use for gifts, the gifting paper for like gift bags. I used that as stained glass, and I accidentally punched my finger through two of the windows while I was moving.
It looks like an abandoned church now.
Yeah.
Church has been sitting for a while.
I'm like, just make it really dusty. I can repurpose it.
There you go.
It was either that or use white glue and try and fix it with more tissue paper, see what I can do. But at the same time, I haven't felt an urge to shoot with the staircase diorama. I kind of want to build a new one. So I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with it, if I want to try and store it or if I'm going to chuck it into the trash or maybe give it to one of my friends. The closest toy photographer to me is Sabi Hime on Instagram. She lives like an hour away from my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, small world as well. I live really close to Gail XV photography. He's a Toronto born, well, not born, but he's a Toronto area photographer as well. I see him at most of the small conventions selling stuff at his booth. So
see where I'm at, there's nobody. I literally live in like a rural hell for toy photography. It's just me out here. So like I think the closest person is like I think Mariana, like Creation Odyssey, she lives I think like 6 hours north. So maybe that'll be good enough to like close. Yeah.
Rory's probably about 9 hours.
Yeah. And then everyone else is either in San Francisco or like down in LA area. So it's kind of like, yeah.
I've got some people who are pretty close to me. I just haven't. I mean, it's COVID times.
Yeah.
That adds to the problem. But it's like MJ is not that far from me. And there's a bunch of other people that I've started to realize are out in like Central Jersey, which I used to work in Central Jersey, so it's kind of funny. But Gigi, when you're coming up with like an idea, do you just start building or do you draw it out first? Like, I
just start building.
I eyeball
everything.
So cool. So
I'm like,
cool.
I have the picture in my head, and usually like I can draw a thing out. Like I draw, I'm an artist. But like I have an idea in my head and my body's just like, you have to build it. We can't pre-plan, just build.
That is so cool. I'm such a like an over planner sometimes with everything. And I don't even build dials. I just use garbage. And I still over plan. And so it's like I am so envious of your ability to just sit there and like just start gluing, and all of a sudden you've got these dials that are just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'd say I blame it on the ADHD, but
Good. It's working for you. Keep it going.
I was gonna say, do you have like a backlog of ideas, or it's just kind of like you think of something one day and just kind of do it?
It's kind of like a light bulb just goes off, being like, oh, this is the idea. Like today, I randomly grabbed, like I grabbed my Surfetch and my Gardevoir toy, and I was like, I have an idea. I need to build.
Yeah.
And then I built this little tiny.
Oh, it's cool.
I can't. I'm reversed.
There you go.
It's like a little tiny staircase thing.
Yeah.
It's
You'll
really
use it.
cool.
Yeah. You'll put it in something.
Yeah, I want to use my pillars because I love using my pillars that I built.
Mm-hmm.
They're from cake risers I bought at Michael's, and
Yeah.
because I built it so that I can properly like hold the pillars on each like
Oh, wow.
pretty
Okay.
much properly. I'm gonna try and do something with that, and yeah, I don't know.
Good.
I've gone insane.
That's so good though. It's so cool. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
And then the nice thing when I usually have one of these, like, oh, let's build a thing, I can usually picture other toys slowly assembling into that diorama as well, which is really nice. Like when I built, sadly, I can't take my, I can maybe move my Monster Hunters and move the little things off of this diorama really quickly. You're going to hear some banging. So, like, when I built this for my pillars, I originally built it for Zelda, Princess Zelda, but I think the first Nendroid I shot with this was Lyra and V from Grand Blue. And I was like, this is going to be for Zelda. I'm going to build it. I have another Nendroid that needs to be shot on this.
Yes.
Do you find, are you ever just like inspired by materials that you find, or do you usually go and seek out the thing to accomplish what you're trying? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you normally see something and say, oh, that would work as this? Or do you say, I need something that's going to work as a door for this entry? You know what I mean? Or is it a combo of the two?
I think it's a combo of the two. Like, it's almost like I see another photographer. So like Dan, Reign of Toys. I see something he makes and I'm like, I want to build something like that. And then the little cogs start moving. And then I'll start Googling images of something similar to what he's made. And then I'll try and put my own flair of like something different.
Yeah.
Or like I'll look at a Roll Life DIY and be like, I don't want to spend that money, but I want to build that thing.
Yes.
That's cool.
So it's kind of mix and match of both. It's like I see something and I want it, but at the same time, I want it my way.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good though.
Yeah. That being said, like for Instagram, like kind of like knowing when your dios are going to get finished and stuff like that, how you manage your time for posting and dio making and then collecting and arts and like all that kind of stuff. Like how do you kind of organize yourself? It's a big question.
It is a big
and
question.
Be totally honest, because I'm terrible at it. So I would love to hear your opinions on this, because you're talking to the king of terrible Instagram management and order.
So, with Instagram, what I've learned is with its algorithm, it really likes you posting pretty much at the same time every other day. So say I do my posts at like 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I accidentally miss a day, like if I wake up and I slept through that time period on a day I'm supposed to post, I just come to the conclusion I'm not posting. Because Instagram's algorithm will just be like, nah, not today. This ain't it. Because again, Instagram's such a fickle creature. It wants you to be consistent. How I manage my time to take photos, however, I'm kind of a gremlin. I can shoot anytime during the day. I think Jay's walked in on me at like 9 a.m. on a Monday before work taking a photo. Like things like that. But nowadays I'm trying really hard to keep weekends to photography. That's why I don't post on the weekends anymore. I just do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then weekends are usually to myself. Weekends I try to get at least a 2 weeks worth of backlog of photos to edit, and then I just edit and upload. I always have at least 3 to 4 photos on a backlog. So if I don't have a stroke of genius of some form, I just upload something that's already in my pre-roll, ready to go. That's why some photos
That's awesome.
Yeah, some photos I take in like January, I won't upload till like April.
Oh man.
Because I have these little moments of like, oh, I want to shoot this Nendroid. I just got it in, but I have my pre-roll of 4. Those guys can wait.
Yeah, wait until you have a artist block and take advantage of it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Smart.
Yeah, it was something I learned with when I was doing YouTube. YouTube is always as well, like, always have a backlog. Make sure you have at least like 3 videos ready and compiled throughout the day, or do like an 5-hour stream of just content and slowly just edit it, chop it up into 15-minute like stuff you can digest and just upload daily on YouTube. And I used to do that consistently for a while, and then I stopped, and it's been like 4 years.
It can be kind of like intimidating sometimes because like work will get in the way, or you'll like have a special event happening, or like have you ever found that need where you like a holiday will sneak up on you and you obviously want to do something for that holiday, and then you're like, nope, not doing it now because I don't want to like rush.
Every year for a while, I've been wanting to do something for Hatsune Miku's birthday, and I always miss it. I'm like, she's like the Nendroid I have the most Nendroids of. I should do something. Nope, next year.
I'm always like, I'm gonna take photos in the wrong month and then save them for when that happens. Never happens. No. So do you have plans for maybe cosplaying later on once we are not in house arrest anymore?
Yeah, I would like to get back into cosplay. Cosplay's always been more my thing. To be honest, this would be my 10 years of cosplaying. It's just great 10 years. I'm stuck indoors.
Yeah.
Like I'm still thinking of costumes to like make, because I usually make all my costumes. I don't trust online retailers with making my costumes anymore. I'm either too big in the waist or too big in the chest, and I'm just like, I'll just make it myself.
Yeah. I mean, they make standardized everything nowadays. It's hard to find a regular t-shirt, let alone something that's gonna be from an anime or some show you like. So how many cosplays have you done? I'm kind of curious. How many characters?
Too many.
And then what's your favorite?
My McCree cosplay is probably one of my favorites. I did a female version of Jessie McCree from Overwatch, and like the photos that came out of it were just, I love that costume. I just look really good in it. And Ruby Ruby Rose from Ruby is another one. I have her personality in a sense. I'm very jumpy and bubbly. So whenever I put on that her costume, I'm always really, really giddy. I love my Ruby costume and my McCree, and probably all my Pokemon Jijinkas. I do a lot of Pokemon.
Who's somebody you want to cosplay that you're kind of intimidated to cosplay? You haven't gotten around to it yet, but you've wanted to for a while.
Ooh. I have, like, I'm almost done it. It's just I get into bouts of like, I don't want to finish this. Would probably be my Barryoth Gunner Monster Hunter armor.
Ooh.
Like I'm still in the middle of making it. And I was making it about 2 years ago.
Wow, that's a big like project.
Yeah, it's big and it's small. It's really like I have all the fabric pieces done. It's just I can't wrap my head around making armor. I think my biggest armor costume was Kjell from Fire Emblem Awakening. She's the child of Tharja. And she's like in a giant turtle shell type armor. And I made that for Katsucon, and I left the armor at Katsucon. It was just falling apart. That's the same year Jessica Nigiri had like 200 pounds of gummy bears in her hallway that she threw out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was a costume. I kind of looked at it. I wore it. I took a photo. I went, I don't look good. And I just took it all off and was like, yep, that's just staying in the hotel room.
Nice.
I'm not taking it back home with me to Canada.
I was like, that's a story for everything going on. The next kind of question I was asking, because like there's a lot of people on Instagram right now that are kind of they're on there because they want to get a company to notice them so they can kind of showcase some stuff on their websites and everything like that. I know I entered that I think it's Tokyo Taco Mode's contest, and I wasn't expecting anything out of it. And so actually it's a really funny story because Mariana's like, she sent me a message. She's like, did you know you did this? And I'm like, did what? That I didn't even know I won. So I was like, oh, apparently I did something that needed noticing. But I was wondering if there's like somebody that you're looking at, because like I look at Litragear, who does my lights, that I would really love to like take their stuff outside and destroy and show them how durable it is. But like, is there a company you're kind of interested in?
Anyone? Please, someone endorse me.
Somebody.
Something I've noticed, especially being a Canadian content creator, a lot of the American like jazzware, Wicked Cool Toys jazzware, Divutu, what's the one that's doing the speakers? Everybody's getting a speaker except me.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. I just need to remember their name.
That's fine. I
don't want to butcher them.
I kind of want to know.
100% never get.
I'm gonna look this up too.
Divoom. Or Divoom. Divoom. They do the Pixel speakers. Like Captain Dangerous took a picture with hers and stuff like that. I would love to get like endorsed by somebody. Heck, I would. Good smile. I'm a brand bitch. Come on.
Yes.
But being a Canadian content creator, a lot of American companies look at Canadians and go, shipping to you is going to be kind of tough.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, for some odd reason, shipping and us getting hit with like customs, a lot of people don't want to ship their stuff to Canadian content creators, or at least in our field. I think the only one I know is Gale XV, but he has a sponsorship with a company back in China. I'm like, I can't even get sponsored by my own local anime shop, but they're very small, Navita World. They're a Good Smile sponsored partnership store as well. But I've always been kind of trying to egg them like, hey guys, I did this.
Yeah.
And then they look at me like, can't do it.
Oh.
Yeah, the shipping to Canada is interesting, how that's actually plays into getting endorsed, because I just recently shipped a print to somebody in Canada.
Yep.
And it left at the beginning of December, and it didn't get there until like about a week ago.
Yeah.
So like I know that that's a thing that they're dealing with. I just never thought about the fact that it would actually affect, like, you know, people wanting to work with you and stuff because of that. It's kind of
I really hope it's not that. That's kind of me thinking. Like I'm thinking in the mind of a company. It'd be easier to ship within America if you're an American company, because you know America, not at least shipping is slightly freer in America.
Yes,
in Canada it's still like almost $18 for me to send a package to my friend in Vancouver.
Oh man.
Like, it's still expensive to send things here and there in Canada. At least in America, when you're doing a certain amount of like shipping, or like you're buying a certain amount, shipping's free, or weight, it's free. I know when I used to buy things from Chibi Chop Shop, even if it was a $20 like Nendroid body, I'd still be hit with about $20 of shipping and then customs.
I know I buy some stuff from First Four Figures a lot, and Australia gets hit quite a bit too. But I mean, there's a boat involved there, where Canada shouldn't be that too much.
It shouldn't be that hard, but for some odd reason it is. But It is what it is. I'm happy just being I would love to be an ambassador or something, like a Canadian ambassador for some company, but I know deep within my heart that might not ever happen. And again, I'm like, I like that I was noticed by Good Smile twice for
I was
their
gonna say,
vendography. I don't know how many other photographers got noticed twice by Good Smile.
besides the ones that are already have like Captain Changers has her contract and everything, I don't know.
Yeah, no, for their whole Nendography contest thing, like a bunch of my friends have gotten it at least once,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like the only person who's ever gotten a second, like, hey, we want to share another one of your pictures.
That's good.
So I'm like, I've gotten noticed from them. I've gotten noticed by Tokyo Otaku Mode. They've shared a few of my pictures. So there's a few things that I'm like, I'm really happy I've been noticed. It's just, again, help the little guy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was looking at it all, and it's all really cool. And I like it when the companies will even ask you, like, if they can showcase your stuff. It at least makes you feel good. I think I had Litter Gear ask me about the Promised Neverland shot that I had, and I think this poor person, whoever it was DMing me, did not want to be in that conversation after a while. I think I said thank you like 18 times.
Oh,
Like I
no.
was like super, super nervous. And this poor kid, whoever it was like, you're very much welcome. Please send us the photo.
It's like the please stop.
Yeah, please stop sending me
Why did he ask
messages.
this person?
Yeah, like, if we take it back, can we retract?
Take it back. Just stop talking to me. We're gonna block you. Actually.
All of a sudden, you realize you can't see their content anymore. You're like, wait,
No.
what happened?
They're not even gonna let me buy their stuff.
We get an order for you, it just gets declined.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I needed more lights. Decline.
Declined. So I kind of wrote this with like a little bit. I'm trying to read my own notes, which is ridiculous. Like I'm thinking about this, but so one of these things that people always ask is like, is there something that's awesome that's happened because of stuff of your having an account on Instagram and like being a creator and all that stuff? And I think like for me, it was being asked by some other companies that I actually use their product, and like I'm all in my head, I'm like the hashtags work, like yay! Yeah. But it's like one of those things. But is there something like how long have you been on Instagram? And like there's probably be.
So for the toy photography, I think I'm now on year 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm don't
We're
quote me on that. It could be 4. But I think I'm on year 3. I don't think I started toy photography till 2018. I'm doing the math. Like the numbers are slowly coming together.
There you
go. I've been on Instagram for my cosplay stuff since like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Cosplay, I've never been asked to do anything.
Oh.
I was never asked by somebody to be like, oh, can you wear this costume? Again, I am considered plus size, and plus size is kind of taboo with companies. There's a few girls, when they get enough followers, they're lucky enough to become an ambassador or a spokesman for a cosplay company. But again, I've been under like 2,000 followers for years. So I'm like, yeah, cosplay, I'm not going to get noticed for that.
It's funny you say that because I've been on Instagram for like I think I'm going on my 6th year. I've been on for a while, and I finally broke 2,000 followers like last year. And I was just like thinking about it, and I was just, but I usually go through like I'm weird, and I'm like, are you a bot? Are you gonna look at my kids on my Instagram? I don't want you to follow you. I will check their pages back. So I actually probably follow just as many people who follow me because I want to make sure that they're real people. But yeah, I think it's odd the way things work on Instagram, at least for like how people can find you, how people like notice things, like, and that was one of the reasons why we started Sisters in Plastic too, because Christy and I were trying to figure out where all the females were at, because we're like, if you think about it, like you can't see anybody.
No.
And it's kind of hard to figure out, are you male or female if your profile doesn't say it and you're just a name. Like I forget who it was. One of the You know what? It's a good thing I'm not remembering their name because I thought they were a woman, and then
Oh.
then I actually got to meet this person, and they were a guy,
Mhm.
and I went, oh, big oops.
It happens like a lot when you're talking to people, and this is like a prime example, and I usually use it a lot of times for Tom and I want to. I've known him for a long time, and I
Mhm.
thought that he was somebody who was a lot older.
Yeah.
Then when his photo showed up, and then I was like, "You talk very eloquently," and I was assuming that you were somebody in your 60s. So when I saw him and he was like my age, I was like, "I'm sorry, Tom.
Ooh.
So sorry."
Yeah,
But
it's like
Instagram has that weird feel to it. You never know. And
yeah, like
so
you've seen me talk, and I say "ye" a lot. When I say yes, I just do "ye." It's a bunch of e's. Like I talk like I'm a teenager. I am probably 10 years older than a teenager. I'm 25. I'm turning 26.
Mhm.
I'm still a baby baby.
Yeah.
But like I talk to like Rory, who's probably I'm gonna say he's probably about 4 years my junior, and
Mhm.
I still think he is the baby. And then I talk to another person and they're 15, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, I'm old.
Well, that was an interesting thing with the toy photographer meetup was the spectrum
Yeah.
of ages that we got to see there. Because I didn't know a lot of people behind the camera. I'm relatively new to this community, and seeing everybody's faces and these Zoom conference like these Zoom conversations, I was like, okay, that person's like 18, that person's like 73. I'm like, and it's like everybody's talking. It was really cool to see that
Yeah.
the spectrum that's out there because there really is, and you can't tell because everybody presents themselves differently. Like eh, like you said, you might come off as being a 16-year-old just because you're the way you speak or the way you communicate with people, but then they realize, oh no, this is an adult, this is an adult person. It's interesting. It really is a very you can kind of be anybody on social media, and I think that's it, to Steph's point, that's kind of the creepy thing about it
Yeah.
sometimes, but it can also be probably a little freeing for some
Mhm.
people. It's an opportunity to just sort of exist and not have to worry about people's opinions of you and whatnot. You can kind of just be who you want and do what you want to do in this group. So
Yeah, it's nice. In a sense, you're you in a sense are projecting your own personality through your name. Um,
Mhm.
you're not really projecting anything really else. I know there's some photographers, there was a whole bunch of there to be honest, there's still a lot of drama. Right now there's a
oh
bunch of drama going on in the scale lewd figure photography collective that I've been kind of like thrown into,
Oh.
trying to get out, but I've been thrown into.
help.
But like sometimes people, yeah, in their stories they post their political views, their religious views and stuff like that, and it's sometimes not very poggers. I'm going to use that word. It's really not great. But at the same time, it's like you built up this relationship with a person and then you
Mhm.
realize who they are and you're like, oh no. Because there's been a few moments like that throughout the community. I'm
Mhm.
gonna say there's a totally different nuance and community when it comes to like the Nendroid people, the figure community, the action figures, and then the scale figure. The scale community seems so much more catty.
No.
I hate. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble for
Yeah.
saying that. But like when it comes to like the action figures, the Star Wars collectors, things like that, I don't see a lot of drama or like infighting. And with Nendroids, I don't see a lot of infighting. It's a lot of
Mhm.
people just appreciating the figures.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason with scale figures, that's my waifu. You're not allowed to touch my waifu. And then it gets really like, oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's not a ton of drama in the Star Wars community. Like, it's occasionally people get mad because they feel like their image got ripped off, but it's a photo of a stormtrooper in a war. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it might just happen. It's like, it's not, you didn't do something revolutionary. Like,
No.
it's a
No,
photograph.
It's like the Amaterasu Nendroid.
Yeah.
How many people are going to shoot a photo of a dog running?
Yeah, exactly. And it's inevitable. Like, you're gonna repeat things. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just the nature of it. It's you can, unless it's a super just out of the box original idea, chances are someone else is gonna do something similar without even seeing your photo.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like I do the casual fake granddaughter. Like, I do the casual versions of characters.
Mhm.
And not gonna lie, I took it from somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't really steal it. It was more or less
Yeah.
like, oh, I have some bodies and stuff like that. I can mix and match, and I can do
Yeah.
casual as well. And they never called me out. And
No.
I don't really feel like you need to call a person out for
Mhm.
something like that. We, in a sense, are still sharing the same spectrum of we love Fate, and we love the idea of seeing them in like regular clothing.
Yeah.
The figures are made to swap. They
Yeah.
they're interchangeable. That's just the way that
You're supposed to do that.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the fun of it.
And yeah, with that, then I started branching out to just casual Nendroids, and then I did like casual Vocaloid, casual this, casual that, and then I started the whole casual Nendroid challenge.
Mhm.
I was the one that started that whole hashtag, and then
Really?
yeah,
Oh, I was like, I just recently got tagged for that. I need to do. I'm so bad with things that are not like fantasy oriented. Like
Yeah.
if it's anything to do with like a city block where there's actually like real life stuff, I'm like scared to death of it. I'm like a street,
it's like
anything. Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, you want me to put like a real bed in this? I'm like,
Yeah. I don't do beds. I do bridges and goblins. Like,
I
what
do
is this?
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, the troll pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's on like a rock bed, like I can do that, but
Yeah, you want some water spat at it and some dirt
Yes.
thrown? Yes.
Yes,
Steph's on
done.
board.
done.
Yeah, no, that one was my original IP.
That's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, creating a hashtag is one really hard to do sometimes because trying to think of something. I think we're still working on that, Scott, for our challenge for this month that we were going to do. We came up with a theme, but I'm like, how the hell did we get come up with a hashtag for this?
Yeah.
Like,
Hashtags are weird. I still don't like. I just, people tell me like use this hashtag, and I just stick it in my notes because I have all my hashtags saved. I just copy and paste them. I don't like intelligently break down like, oh well, in this photo I'm going to use these hashtags. In this photo I'm going to use these. I'm terrible. I got to get a better grasp of that, better understanding. So
yeah. I've been slowly, again, I'm trying to learn Instagram. It's a fickle creature. Hashtags and stuff like that, that's been my thing, learning how to deal with hashtags. If you use like too many hashtags, you get shadow banned. If you use too little hashtags, you get shadow banned. How do you work around it? And right now what I've been learning is you put about 5 to 10 hashtags in your actual picture, and then the rest go into comments, and all of a sudden your reach skyrockets. Your likes might not change, but at least the reach changes.
that's
So instead of like a photo
yeah.
getting 200 likes to 300 reach, it'll be 200 likes to 1,000 reach, which has helped me a lot. I've slowly started regaining followers. I've been stagnant for a month on followers. It's been kind of rough being at like the 2,200 mark and like plummeting to 2,190 to 2,200 again. So I've just been trying. I've been trying to throw everything at the wall because my Instagram isn't allowing reels. I don't have the reel update yet. Every other one of my Instagrams has reels except for my toy photography. And I know reels right now is being pushed really hard. It's going to be pushed really hard for about 6 months, and then they're going to just drop it off and everybody's going to go back to normal.
Yeah, and then they'll come up with something else later, and that'll get pushed
Yeah.
for 6 months, and then it'll just keep doing that cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like there's like a lot of buttons. This is how I'm gonna put it. It's like an old lady saying this, but there's a lot of stuff going on these apps.
Too many
Like-
buttons.
Like I didn't know you could change font in the messages for a while, and then all my messages all of a sudden were like different colors. I'm like, what the hell is going on with my phone? And then someone had to explain it to me that they're like, no, you can go to the menu and change it. And I'm like, that's neat, but can we do that in the comments? Because that would be a better. I was like, can I change my color and font when I want to post an image? And then someone sent me a link to do that too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like for the longest time I didn't understand how you could get the rainbow text in your stories,
Mhm.
and then I had to like YouTube it, and I was like, oh, I like to say I'm really tech savvy, but I kind of have a boomer brain. Like,
It's a good way to put it.
Discord. I don't know how to Discord.
I didn't know what Twitch was until like 6 months ago. Somebody kept saying it, and I thought it was something on Instagram that I was missing, and then I realized it's a whole other platform.
I still don't quite understand Twitch. It was one of the guys I work with goes, I forget exactly what happened. He goes, I'm gonna stream Mega Man tonight. You should watch. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna play the old classic Mega Man on Twitch. And I'm like, all right, I guess I need to download this. So I downloaded it. But the worst part is, like, I'm not a gamer. I don't have any game systems. I just don't. And I feel like I'm probably the only person on there without a modern game system. And I just started like watching these videos of people like playing through. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm starting to understand. Someday when I'm dead, I'll understand it all. That's my plan.
One of the greatest things about these two, like, because we're on this like StreamYard thing kind of chatting, but it's like I went on this and like with the sound, and I remember like trying to wave like at Tom again. Like I was like I can't hear you, and I was like, can you hear me? And he's like, yes. And he's like you're on mute on my own computer. Yes.
Yeah,
it happens.
No, it's funny of how untech savvy I am, and I'm a professional person. We're gonna credit you. Like I'm not like crazy, but no.
Yeah, it's like I don't get TikTok. I'm like I look at all my friends who are doing TikToks, and I'm like, I don't know TikTok.
no.
I'm like, the videos are funny, but
Yeah.
how do you, So
Some of
I don't think I'm ever going to jump onto TikTok, though. I'm like,
No.
Instagram Reels is pretty much TikTok.
Yes.
Some of
So
the younger kids at where I work, they'll like try to explain to me TikTok videos, like the trends and stuff that I sound so old, and they love it. They think it's so funny because they love the fact that I'm so much older than them, so they just love to torment me. And they'll start trying to explain. They're like, they're doing this thing. It's a dance thing on TikTok, and it's a TikTok dance. I'm like, what is a TikTok dance? And it's
Is
like,
it like Fortnite?
yeah. I'm like, is it like Fortnite? No, it's not. They do this thing, and everybody has to do the dance to this song, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Like, why? They're just like, yeah, it's this challenge or that challenge. I'm like.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I know right now there's a challenge going around called the Silhouette Challenge, and I found out all you have to do is up the brightness, lower the contrast, and you can see people's silhouettes. And most of these people do this nude, so it's
Very
not
risque.
very great.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my
a lot of like my cosplay friends have been doing the Silhouette Challenge, and I finally I watched a YouTube video of a person breaking down how you can actually like get through the red filter. And I'm like,
gosh.
you guys should take down your silhouette challenges. And they're like, why? I'm like, they're just posting free porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh.
It's like
And everyone's like, oh no.
whoops. Everybody's like bouncing people's TikTok photos into like Photoshop. There's some creeper in a basement somewhere.
Oh my god.
Collecting them. Gonna make a book someday.
This is why I stick with Nendroids. This is way too much stuff like flipped around.
Yeah. They can't do anything. They can't do anything to your Nendroids.
No, they're
Perfectly safe.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're little
they're
babies
darling.
with gigantic heads. That's what they do.
They have interchangeable faceplates. They're
Exactly.
baby.
They're babies.
I think we're good. That was all of that.
Yeah, we got through all of the questions.
I know. I'm so proud of us for this first time. Like, yay! Hey guys, thanks for joining Scott and I for the first episode of the newly renovated SBN Podcast Experience. We are now a video and listening experience, so check out the podcast as well as our new and, well, it's not improved, new YouTube channel. And be sure to check out Gigi on her social media, which is at Gigi Marvels. And I hope you enjoyed this. We have another episode to come with JDR 1205. So there you go. Thank you. And stay awesome, everyone.